Now, I talk about crypto a lot on this channel, and we're right in the middle of this beautiful bull market. So what exactly do I own? Today, I'm going to break down exactly what coins I have and how much each one makes up of my total portfolio, because believe it or not, I don't own only Bitcoin. So let's start with Big Daddy Bitcoin. At the current price, it makes up a whopping 86.9% of my total portfolio. I think you guys know this, but Bitcoin is obviously my favorite. It's the Apple or the Coca-Cola of the crypto world, in my opinion. It's the biggest one. It's the most important one. It's the one that has the power. It's going to be around for 100 years, and it has first movers advantage. It's known by most people, even people who aren't into crypto. And when you think of crypto, the first thing you think of is Bitcoin. It also has tons of coverage in media for like many years, but especially in this last year, it's been in everything. Recently, it was just in The Simpsons. It's also got the largest network. It's the most secure, and it's the one that I'm planning on holding until I'm an old man. Sure, I'll probably sell small portions of it as we go up, but really just so that I can come back in as the Bitcoin price comes back down, so I can have even more Bitcoin as I become an old man. I think Bitcoin is a multi-decade and even a multi-generational hold. I think that when I'm on my deathbed, Bitcoin will still be something that is very important. And I think at that point, having one Bitcoin will be unfathomable. Having 0.1 Bitcoin will be something that only the wealthy can do. I think Bitcoin is really obviously the most important coin. Okay, next up is Ethereum, ETH, which makes up 5.5% of my portfolio. Now, Bitcoin is the store of value. That's basically digital gold, where ETH is more like the internet. It's a network. It allows people to build other coins on top of it, smart contracts, and decentralized apps. It basically is the computer of the crypto world. And I think it's gonna be hugely successful over the next decade or two, but even longer than that. And I'd actually like to have more of this because I really think that Ethereum is probably gonna be at like 10,000 or even more in the next few years. And my ultimate plan is, as Ethereum hits new prices, I do plan to basically taper off my holding till I sell about half of it, but the other half I'm holding again for multi-decades for the very long run, because Ethereum is something that I do see a big possibility of it lasting until I'm in my 60s, 70s, 80s. Next up is good old chicken, Litecoin. It makes up 2.8% of my portfolio. Now, this one used to be a much larger part of my portfolio. It was my second biggest holding at a point, but as prices change, so do your ratios of what you own percentage-wise. Litecoin is the second crypto that was ever created, and it used the Bitcoin original code, and then they just tweaked some things. So while Bitcoin will only ever have 21 million coins in existence, Litecoin is 4 times that, so it'll have 84 million. It's also much faster. So in my opinion, I see Litecoin kind of as the cash for smaller transactions, much quicker things, maybe like buying coffee, where Bitcoin is more for large transfers of wealth that don't need to be as fast, right? The Litecoin to Bitcoin ratio is actually looking pretty great, because Litecoin usually keeps a certain ratio to Bitcoin's price, and it's currently well below that ratio. So a lot of people think that Litecoin has a lot of room to run. And I think Litecoin personally is going to be at around $1,000 by next year. I'm going to sell around 75% of my Litecoin, and about 25% of it I'll hold for many decades. Next up is XRP, and this one is actually kind of controversial for a lot of people. A lot of people really hate it. This makes up 1.7% of my portfolio, and I've been holding this one forever. Well, not forever, but since 2017, it feels like forever. At one point it got really low, I think 25 cents or less, but now it's over $1, so it's been doing a pretty great run in the last couple of months. This coin basically aims to become the bank transfer coin, basically just replacing the ACH/SWIFT system. If you've ever made a transfer from one bank to another, you know that it takes not one day, not 1 hour, it takes multiple days. Sometimes it takes a week, and even on business days, it doesn't happen at all. So Ripple aims to basically, XRP, which is, run with Ripple, they aim to basically replace that so that the whole system is a lot faster. So this is, a lot of people call this the banking coin. So if banks adopt this, it has a ton of room to go. So even though XRP is only 1.7% of my portfolio, I think it could do anything from a 2 to 50x in price over the next few years. I know that sounds crazy, but that's the beauty with some of these altcoins, is that they're riskier, much riskier. But if they 50x, then now it's brought your whole portfolio up by 70-80% just by holding 1 to 2% of them. All right, next on the list is XLM, which is Stellar. This is 1.5% of my portfolio. Now, Stellar used to have a lot of attention and hype in the market, but then it kind of lost everyone's attention. It's pretty similar to XRP in wanting to get banking attention, but it's also actually aiming to help people in developing countries with remittances. So this is like sending sending cross-border payments. For someone who lives in another country who doesn't have a bank account, which unfortunately is a problem for people who live in developing countries, they'll have to use something like Western Union. And if you've ever used Western Union, or if you've ever looked into it, the fees for it are insane. So by replacing that, not only is there a big market for it, so the price of it would, appreciate as more people use it, as there's more volume, but this one also, for me, I just kind of like that idea. I want to support this project because I do really think that it sucks that a lot of people can't get bank accounts just because they live in another country and they don't have whatever it is that they need to be able to get a bank account. For example, proper like driver's license and identification cards. So I think it is really cool that this could take away that $35 Western Union fee and make it so that people can transfer money across to other countries much cheaper. Next up is good old Chainlink. Link is 0.7% of my portfolio, and this one has made some huge movements in price for the last year, about $5 to $32 over this last year. Insane to see it grow that much. And in a basic way, Link, it aggregates data. It helps connect data to on-chain nodes and smart contracts. It's just data, and I see it doing really well. This one I don't think I'll sell. I think it has a long way to go from this, even though it's already done quite a bit of a multiple. So this is one that I'm not planning on selling any portion of. I'm just gonna hold this one for decades. All right, getting to the smaller ones. OMG, or Amise Go, it makes up 0.6% of my portfolio, and honestly, I bought this one because it had a lot of hype and people I followed back in 2018 really liked it. So, it's probably not the best way to go about investing, but sometimes it's fun, if it's gonna be a really small part of your portfolio, just to get some skin in the game. That way you actually pay attention when people talk about a certain project. So I bought a little bit of it. Basically helps people transfer crypto to crypto investments or fiat to crypto, and it still has a lot of hype, so I think it could do pretty good. I'll sell this one in the next few years, or maybe even in the next year, if it 3 to 5x's, and I'll probably sell the whole position. Finally, for my last significant position, EOS has 0.4% of my portfolio, and this is basically just another version of Ethereum. It allows decentralized apps to be built on top of it, and I really think it's going to be a huge part of the future. I'll hold this one forever as well, and especially when I have these projects that are smaller portions of my portfolio, it is a lot easier to think, I'll just hold it forever. What's it going to do? 5x from here, and that would be a pretty good amount of money, but why not just keep holding and see if it 50x's, and if it crashes, oh well. So after this, I have other coins, but they're pretty small, so I don't think that they're significant enough to mention. Now, do I think that these are the best coins and projects in the world? No, I think they're all really solid. I would buy them again, but if I was to set up a new portfolio with fresh cash, there would be other projects in here that would have bigger ratios and portions. For example, I really like Polkadot. That's a replacement for Ethereum, and that's one I really like. Also, I wanted to buy BNB, which is Binance coin, a few years ago, but I didn't want to sign up for multiple exchange accounts, and that would have been a 25x because I would have bought it at 18. It's now trading at $500. It's crazy. I probably have some Aave and maybe some other coins as well. But really, to break down my strategy, it's that Bitcoin is the big daddy. Sure, it maybe won't make the same gains as a lot of alts, but it will always be around. And I got in pretty early with an average buy-in price of about 10,000. Bitcoin's over 60K now. A lot of people got wrecked in 2017 chasing alts that could potentially go to 50x gains. But the problem is, while a lot of them are winners like BNB doing a 15x, a ton of projects plummeted and you never hear about them anymore. Like, for example, QuantStamp. Does anybody remember that? Would have sucked if you put a huge portion of your money into QuantStamp, because it really hasn't performed well at all. So that's the risk you take when you get into alts. I like to have a bit of my portfolio in these coins that could 5 or 20x and end up being a lot larger part of my portfolio, but it makes me feel a lot more comfortable to be in Bitcoin, the king of all coins, the one that I know that's truly going to be around in 100 years and won't be replaced by anything else, in my opinion. The other thing that prevents me from trading more often or being in more coins, honestly, is taxes. Now, that's a stupid reason to not follow the trades that you want to execute, but the less coins and the less times I sell things, the less work there is for me to do when it comes to tax time. And I hate doing all that kind of stuff because it's really not that easy. There are some great programs like Coinly, but honestly, it's easier to only use one exchange and focus only on a few coins that I really believe in. So there you have it. You wanted to know, and so now you do. I use Coinbase for most of actually all of my purchases. I then transfer those bigger holdings, the one that have a lot of value in it. I transfer that over to Ledger, which is a hardware wallet for cold storage, for long-term storage. And I keep about 1/6 of my coins on BlockFi, which pays me about 6% interest back each year. I think it's really smart to do this because I earn interest paid back in crypto. So I get 6%, but then as that 6% appreciates in value, it could be 12 or 36% that I make in a single single year. So you can check out my Coinbase and my BlockFi link below. Also have some nice bonuses that you get when you sign up. So I hope you guys enjoyed this, and please let me know, what coins are you invested in right now? What are you looking at? What do you think is a good buy? I'm always looking at new ones. I'd like to see what you guys are interested. So leave that in the comments below. As always, give this a thumbs up to help it get out to more people. Subscribe if you're not subscribed for more content about crypto and investments in general. And I will see you beautiful people in the very next video.